Today we're going to talk about dividing polynomials. Okay, if you divide a polynomial by a monomial, your steps are to write it as a fraction. So we're going to write it as a fraction. We're going to divide each term by the monomial, and we're going to divide out the common factors, and we're going to simplify. So I'm going to show you how to write it out, and then I'm going to use well crackers to show y'all what I mean about pulling things out and distributing and things like that. Okay, so the first thing we have here is we're going to write this on top. 16x plus 28 over 4x. Okay, now I'm going to divide out. What I want to do is I want to separate this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 16x over 4x plus 28 over 4x. So I'm just taking my denominator and I'm putting it under each monomial of my numerator. All right? Then what we want to do this time, check it out on the video, y'all. They couldn't see any of that. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to pull out everything that I have. So this is where I'm going to show you my example. This mostly deals with the variables because the variables is usually the hardest thing to see for students. All right. Okay. Here we have some little whales. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2. Whoop, that whale needs to go that way. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now.
What'd I tell you?
All right. So my wells are my variables. So this is like saying well times well times well times well. And then here, there's a point to this, y'all. Stay with me. Well times well times well times well. All right. So now if I want to simplify this, okay, I can pull out one from the top and the bottom. I can pull out another one from the top and the bottom. Right? Because I'm pulling it out from both of them. I can pull this out. I can pull this out. So that actually leaves me with just a well on the bottom, correct? In the denominator. So this is going to be the same thing as your variables. If you pull an x out of the numerator, you pull an x out of the denominator. So you pull an x out of both, okay? Now, so if we look right here, if I pull an x out and an x out, those cancel each other, correct? So now I'm left with 16 over 4, and if you simplify that, 4 goes into 16 how many times?
4.
4. Okay? Now, I cannot pull an x out of the denominator because I don't have an x in the numerator, right? So now I'm just going to simplify this. 4 goes into 28 how many times? 7. So it actually looks like 7 over x, right? Because 28 over, I better pull this over, 4x is actually 7 over 1x simplified, okay? So then you would have 4 plus 7 over x is your answer. So think about that well example when you're pulling out variables. So let's look at another one. Like this one has cubes and squares in it. So let's see what this looks like. Let's start out by saying 6w cubed minus 3w over 4w squared. All right, the first thing I want to do is I want to take the denominator. I want to separate it to each of my monomials and my numerator. So we have 6w cubed over 4w squared minus 3w over 4w squared. All right, once again, people on the video can't see. All right, so what we want to do is we want to pull out w's, all right? I have 3 w's right here, and I have 2 w's down there. So I'm just going to come over here so I can show you. W times W times W, W times W. All right, so this is exactly what this means right here. Are y'all with me? So I'm going to mark that off, and I'm going to mark that off. So that's actually leaving me with 1w up in the numerator, okay? So I can mark this off, and I'm going to take that exponent away because I know I have 1w up in the numerator. Now I'm going to simplify. 4 does not go into 6 evenly, but 2 can go into both of them. So that would simplify 3w over 2. All right, minus 3/4 cannot be simplified, so you have 3/4. And here's a w, and there's 2 w's down here, so I can take out 1 w, and my answer would be 3w over 2 minus 3/4 w. Okay, this is dividing